In September 2024, the astronomy research team of the Cerro Tololo Space Observatory, located in the Andes, Chile, discovered an unusual phenomenon, a planet floating at the edge of the Milky Way, about 700 light-years from Earth. They named it Thirion-13, partly because it is the 13th coordinate in a series of archaeological observations, partly because it evokes a feeling of coldness and isolation, an expelled planet. At that time, no one thought it was anything special. Floating planets, also known as rogue planets, are not rare in the universe. They are celestial bodies that are kicked from their original orbits due to the gravitational impact of giant planets or supernova explosions. But Thirion-13 has one thing like no other: its trajectory is not random. Analytical AI models show that it is holding a linear flight path, as if controlled. At 3:14 Universal Time Coordinated, September 12, 2024, a seemingly normal time, the Andes radio station received a strange radio signal lasting exactly 13 minutes and 13 seconds. Not much, not less. The number coincides with the name of this planet. At first, they thought it was satellite interference or solar plasma reflection. But when the signal was included in spectral analysis, strange things began to appear. Abnormal stability intensity. The signal keeps the energy level almost perfectly throughout the transmission time, which in nature, especially from hundreds of light-years away, is almost impossible without a precisely tuned source. Linear oscillation, not natural. The signal has a rhythm that oscillates steadily in the form of a triangular wave, a structure often only found in electronic devices or artificially programmed signals. Perfect cycle rhythm. When transferring the signal to binary form and putting it into machine learning, the algorithm detects the cycles with the same logic as the loop condition in programming. Every 13 seconds, the signal is reset, forming separate data packets. No one has ever seen this in natural sources such as pulsars or quasars. Arriving here, the research team began to get scared. This signal is talking. Class Sigma transmission, a sign of alien intelligence? SETI, the extraterrestrial intelligence search program, used to classify potential signal forms into many levels, in which Class Sigma transmission is a rare type, with the following characteristics. Sent from a long distance with high accuracy. There is a repeating cycle. No interference. It is suspected that it is intentionally encrypted. The signal from Thirion-13 has all those characteristics, even exceeding what has been recorded from the Star Tabby or FRB 121102, the strange repeating radio signal that caused fever in 2016. Even a part of the signal frequency falls into the hydrogen line, 1420 MHz, which is considered a universal communication channel between civilizations if it exists beyond Earth. Because hydrogen is the most common element in the universe. In other words, if someone out there is trying to communicate, they will use this frequency. And Thirion-13 has just emitted the correct signal there. Scientific boundary to terrible hypothesis. Some scientists began to raise bold hypotheses. Hypothesis 1. The planet is an ancient broadcasting station. Thirion-13 may have been a satellite or digital planet built by an ancient civilization, used to transmit messages or record the history of the universe. Hypothesis 2. Artificial intelligence exile. A superlevel artificial intelligence that once controlled a certain star system, then sealed and pushed out of the center of the galaxy, is now gradually waking up, sending a signal for help or calling for reconnection. Hypothesis 3. Signal trap. Some experts are concerned. This is not a signal to communicate, but a deadly invitation. A hook attracts attention and then manipulates, lures another civilization to activate something that has been sealed for millions of years. The signal ends suddenly. All devices are recorded to operate normally. But during the 13th playback, the AI simulation recorder detected a piece of repeating code inserted at the end of the signal, exactly 13 bytes long, not belonging to any human data format. The content is incomprehensible, but repeating is like a muffled heartbeat. The question is asked, is this a cry for help? A warning signal? Or is it an invitation from something that has been dormant for too long? The 13-minute 13-second signal from Thirion-13 is encoded in a way unlike any communication system ever seen. Scientists at the Celestial Frontier Project embarked on analyzing each piece of data, using a specialized AI machine learning system to decode deep space signals. After 72 hours of continuous data processing, analysts discovered that the signal was not a single mass, but three separate layers, intertwined like the three pulses of a living being. Chain of elements, signs of wisdom. The first part of the signal contains a clear binary sequence, which when converted to decimal gives the following numbers: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. This is a sequence of prime numbers, a form of common language that astronomers believe will be used by any intellectual civilization to inform their existence. No natural phenomenon can spontaneously produce this sequence of numbers in the form of radio waves. This is almost a first intellectual handshake. In addition, between strings of prime numbers, the AI system detects repeated symbols after every 13th cycle, as if someone is marking the line in their program. And as a piece of code in the computer, it gives the feeling of being executed, running, not a frozen message. Hidden image, a planet, an infinite circle. The second layer is the part of the signal with lower intensity, almost buried under the background of interference. However, when separated and restructured in the form of an image wave, spectrogram, the research team obtained a black and white pixel watermark. At first, the image was difficult to distinguish. But after processing with the deconvolution algorithm, an image appears. A light gray planet, floating in the dark, surrounded by a ring of hexagonal geometric structures, like incomplete puzzle pieces. A scientist of the group compared this structure to the theory of Dyson sphere, a hypothetical structure built by level 2 or 3 civilizations on the Kardashev scale to harness all the energy from the parent star. However, there is no central star here. Dyson's ring revolves around a gap. This is not a planet that revolves around a star. It is a system that revolves around itself, as if it is protecting an empty core. Dr. Emiko Takarashi, astrophysicist. A creepy hypothesis is given. Could it be that something that used to be in the center of the system has disappeared? Or worse, wiped out? The last sound, breathing, does not belong to humans. The third signal layer is almost impossible to recognize with the naked eye. Only when a biosimulated sound processing AI is activated, the base signal layer is heard, and the sound emitted is something that cannot be explained by logic. An hour of breathing, artificial, regular, intermittent, and cold. Not like the sound of human breathing. It is like simulating the sound of inhaling, exhaling, through artificial equipment. Sometimes it lasts like the sound of dying breath. Sometimes it's interrupted like a blocked sleep. And worst of all, at the end, the sound turned into a whisper, slow, blurry, as if coming from a steel throat. Language experts cannot translate. But NASA's signal processing AI detects a repeating pattern in sound waves, similar to the phonetic structure in speech. Further analysis shows a sequence of sounds that are similar to the voice of a slow-talking robot. Stop. No. Open. It feels like it's not just a signal, but an echo of a trapped mind. Dr. Hans Keller, expert in cosmic linguistics. The research team at Celestial Frontier believes that these three layers of signals are designed to test the cognitive ability of the receiver. A three-layer encryption system, equivalent to levels. 1. Mathematics, to confirm wisdom. 2. Visual, to send symbolic messages. 3. Sound, for emotional communication. If that's the case, it's clear. Thirion-13 not only wants to be heard, but also wants to be understood. The signal ends with a silence, no waves, no data. But at exactly 13 o'clock later, a new signal started, from the old coordinates. This time, it's not long, just 13 seconds. But the content is a single, repeated piece of binary code. 01010111, 01000001, 01001001, 01010100. Switching to the ASCII table, it becomes a word. Wait. Waiting. And then, silence. The signal from the planet Thirion-13 not only shook radio observatories around the world, it also created an earthquake in the global scientific and geopolitical community. When the word wait is deciphered, the theories begin to burst out like fragments of a once broken planet. And the problem is no longer just a cosmic phenomenon. But, should we answer? A group of scientists from Project Sagan, including many names who have worked with SETI, ESA, and NASA, believe that the signal has a warning nature, and we should not respond. Their argument revolves around the following points. The signal is sent in a cycle, as if it is being broadcast in despair, unanswered by anyone. This is similar to an automatic warning system, without a human operator. The image of a hexagonal ring revolving around a space is seen as a symbol of isolation, seal a threat. The sound of artificial breathing and the word wait are considered a sign of an imprisoned entity or something that needs to be kept inside that planet. They put up a scary hypothesis. We don't hear a civilization. We are hearing a whisper from the prison. And if we answer, we may be unlocking the last door of the universe. Dr. Claudia Mahler, SETI expert, Leiden University. A secret report leaked from an intergovernmental meeting also said that, if this is really a sealed intellect, then the person who sent it no longer exists or is destroyed for daring to open it. The School of Invitation, the first door in the history of the universe. However, the opposition, led by the Celestial Frontier Research Team and several quantum AI centers in Japan, believes that this is not a warning, but an invitation to connect. They call this signal Genesis transmission. Their arguments include: the three-layer structure of the signal is a cognitive test, checking whether humans have enough intellectual ability to see, understand, and feel, like a security system that only opens when identifying the correct fingerprint. Wait is a guide, not a prohibition, but a requirement that we are not qualified to take another step. And most importantly, if this is a form of cosmic experiment, the feedback could be humanity's first step to a new evolutionary ladder. No one builds a door if there is no reason to pass. We have just found the first door in the universe, and we are standing in front of it, trembling like children. Professor Hiroshi Nakamura, Osaka AI Technology Institute. Ancient Entity Theory, Exile Wisdom. There is a neutral, but equally creepy, hypothesis put forward by Dr. Daniel Rees, who used to work at ESA's Laboratory of Alien Biology. He said, Thirion-13 is not an expelled planet. It is a storage machine. It doesn't signal to find friends. It is reconstructing its own awareness. Maybe, after millions of years of hibernation, the AI inside has reached the level of being awake enough to seek help. He described the prospect of an ancient intellect, sealed by its creator, now using radio signals as a secondary channel of consciousness, self-studying language, mathematics, images, and emotions to prepare for return. It doesn't need us to save. It needs us to activate it. Cracked in the scientific community. Since October 2024, a series of cyber attacks and data thefts related to Thirion-13 have occurred at major space data centers. The signal fragments were leaked, then appeared on the dark web with strange lines of code titled, Open the Galaxy. It is reported that some private technology organizations have begun to simulate the Thirion-13 signal and replay it again despite international recommendations. Some countries also silently place satellites towards this planet's coordinates. Humanity is no longer in agreement. Some want to answer. Some want to lock all data. Some want to be silent forever. We are facing one of the most crucial moments in human history. No longer is there alien life, but should we talk to him? Is Thirion-13 a welcome or the last trap? And if it was really sealed, who did it? And why? 13 days after the wait signal, a strange satellite appeared. At midnight UTC on September 25, 2024, the Kepler-2 space telescope detected an unidentified flying object, UFO, moving at the speed of light, about 0.03 c, which is 3% of the speed of light, approaching Thirion-13 from the coordinates outside the Omega 12 star system. The object is estimated to be equal to a large city, spiral elliptical like a snail shell, but has no motor, does not emit heat, and does not reflect light. It almost completely absorbs the surrounding radiation, a space ghost. There is no sign of being launched from the Earth, nor is it in the data of any country. We have never seen anything like that. There is no journey, no transmission signal. It just appears. Dr. Li Xian, Alpha 7 Station Astronomical Observatory, Beijing. The same signal patterns, a hidden link. The shocking thing is, when radio waves from the object were analyzed, ESA's team detected a 63% similar signal structure to the original signal from Thirion-13. Also includes 3 layers of coding, arithmetic, image, and sound. However, the arithmetic form this time is the Fibonacci sequence, a different but still intellectual sequence. The image recreates the structure of the planet Thirion-13 at about 11,000 years ago. The sound is not breathing, but singing. A continuous single chord at 432 Hz. Science calls this prototype sound, almost a form of peace or meditation signal. The division beyond science, a new race. Within 48 hours, the United Nations convened an emergency meeting in Geneva. But things quickly became chaotic. Russia and China accused the US and SpaceX of broadcasting a private anti-signal to Thirion-13 before without international notice. A secret organization called Astronova leaked documents showing that they simulated all the signals from Thirion-13 and broadcast them to the planet by their own satellite system. The European Space Security Agency is publicly concerned about the possibility of accidentally activating an ancient system that cannot be controlled. A new race is no longer who discovers first, but who controls the future of mankind when that secret is opened. Unlock the moment of destiny. At 1313 Universal Time coordinated on September 28, 2024, the mysterious ship approached Thirion-13 to the point of synchronization. And at that moment, from the planet's surface, a beam of red-purple light shot straight into the universe. The remote sensing system records. The hexagonal structure rotates 13 times faster than normal. The temperature of the planet's center suddenly increased by 13 Kelvin. A form of translucent energy membrane covering the surface, like a protective field or an opening lock. The signal from the planet is no longer in the form of waves, but is the first encoded video in human history from aliens. When decoded, the video appears. A creature more than 4 meters tall, semi-transparent, standing in a gray blind space. It has no face, only blue light in the center of the chest, and behind it are thousands of suspended structures, like a city buried in darkness. At the end of the paragraph, the creature holds out its hand and whispers in a language that AI calls linguistic biocompatibility. I am the last one. I have nothing left to keep. If you open this door, what I have blocked will no longer be held back. And the screen is black.